Okay, we're giving up some of our sites to the general public, and we've already told some other people about them too, but just for the general public, you can see the address 34470 Antelope Road in Menifee, California. Right off over there is the 215. It's close to Scott Road. And this is the area I think we call it Horse and Buggy, I believe. See the foundations, rock foundations over there. Found a lot of coins here. It's actually, they call it a Riverside County Wildlife Conservation Area. Doesn't say you can't metal detect, says no fires, shooting, hunting, dumping, paintballs, no motorized vehicles. So, you know, the fence actually, if you go around there, just ends right there. Or you can go right through here, nobody cares, so it doesn't say you can't go in. Anyway, I don't know why it's a conservation area. It must be some kind of, I think it's some kind of a, you might say a county, Riverside County scam or something, so they could hold on to this land until some big commercial guy wants to come by and build a mall or something here, because there's nothing here. You know, I don't know what you're saving. I saw one squirrel one time, and there's no plants. I mean, there's some old olive trees. That's about it. So anyway, but there are coins and some artifacts. I'm sure there still are. So check it out. Maybe you'll find something. And I'll show you a couple other places close by. Now, right across the street, over that way, there's back roads and everything. You can get back there. There's areas where you can find some old, you can find some rocks that have gold in them. You can crush them up, get a little bit. Over there is the hospital, the Loma Linda Hospital in this area. And then I think it might be on private land now, but anyway, out that way is another mine called the Alice Mine, gold mine, where you can get ore, but I think, like I said, I think maybe it might be on private property these days. So I'm going north now on Antelope Road. You can see the sign by the freeway, Scott Road's 1 mile from where I'm at here. And I'll show you some other locations. We do a lot of research and find these places, but a lot of them we've just known about since we were kids, because we've lived out here since we were kids, and actually, and everybody around here knows us because my parents had the only general store in the area for years, for like 20-something years. So, you know, so we know a lot of people that tell us stories about what used to be here and what used to be there, that type of thing that you couldn't find anywhere else written down. So that helps too. Here's one I wish we could go to over here where all the trees are. It's called the Pinto Ranch. It's been here forever, but you know, it's still occupied. Maybe you can get permission to metal detect, but there's a lot of old buildings. They actually moved buildings onto this years ago. They used to have I think it was like a girls' camp where they'd come and ride ponies and all that in the old days. Okay, now I'll show you one that got away. See on the corner up there where the AM/PM is? That's where that's where the old Antelope Elementary School was from the old days. That one got away from us. They built that before we got around to checking that out, so that's out of the picture. Here's one across. See the foundation over there? That's across from the AM/PM on Antelope Road, corner of Scott and Antelope. We call that, what do we call that one? Sheep's Head Meadow. Everything we give a cryptic name to it. The reason we called it that, when we first went there, there's a bunch of sheep in the meadow. So my brother said, let's call it Sheep's Head Meadow. Okay. Now the next one, you see where those trees are way down there? That's an old farmhouse area. They had all kinds of buildings, again, from the old days. And we found tons of coins in the trees and then by the foundations of the buildings. And you can go in there. There is a little fence here and there, but you can go around the fence. And this doesn't say no trespass or anything. But again, that's now this is going north from Scott Road on Antelope. Well, let's see, we call this one Antelope Play. You know, the name of the road's Antelope, so let's call it where the deer and the antelope play, you know. Anyway, there's old foundations there. You can't see them from here. And there is a lot of trash, though. lot of trash and artifacts. We found some artifacts. We've told other people about it. They found artifacts there too. So I think that's about all for this area. There are a couple more, which I'll tell you about another time. Now, all these places you might be thinking, oh yeah, now you're telling us about it because there's nothing left. But I don't think that's true. Every time I kind of give up on a place for a while, and then after maybe a month or two later, I'll go back and I always find something. So they're not going to be easy to find, but you know, you might find something there, you might not. I don't know. Well, I just passed through Menifee. Now I'm heading towards Hemet. No metal detecting. I'm just my wife has some of her artwork at a studio there I've got to pick up. But yeah, we've checked out places in this area. Somewhere, I forget, over there somewhere there's an old mine, and we checked that out, didn't find anything. Winchester, city of Winchester's around here. Now there are good places in Winchester. The only problem with that is there's a group there that kind of like the locals, and they've got special permission to go on, you know, they go on group hunts together on private property and all that. And we're not in the group. Well, we talked to the head of the group before, but he just has some things he's into that we're not really into. So we would rather stay away from that group. Anyway, I'll leave that as it is. But he told us about one place one time. We were trying to pinpoint where there's an old railway station, but it had already been hit a bunch of times. And then there's another good place where there was an old store that burned down, but it's all fenced, and I think just him and his group are the only ones that have been able to go on to it. So, you know, there's deals like that. And that's okay. There's plenty of other places. We've got lists of addresses we've got to check out where there were old places. A lot of times when we get there, it's private property, or there's still somebody living there, that type of thing. And normally we don't go and ask the people if they're living there if we can go ahead and, you know, metal detect on their property. Just because they're watching your every move, you can't really enjoy yourself. So, and they're worried about every little thing. That's, you know, I mean, a lot of people do that. You've probably seen the Diggers show. They do that all the time, but that's not really our thing, you know, unless it was somebody we knew. Yeah, too bad when we were kids, since we lived out here for a long time, we didn't have metal detectors. We could have really cleaned up, because let's say like this place, this is where the Diamond Valley Reservoir is in Hemet, or near Hemet, and so this is all fenced off, all their property. But before it was just nothing, but there was an old site of one of the original post offices around here for Winchester before they moved it. That would be a good place, but now you can't get to it. So I'm telling you this because maybe some of you might figure out a way to get permission, and so that'd be great. See, like you're driving along, you see an old shack. See that one way out there? I don't know if you can see it by the tree. You know, if you're able to get out there, check it out. Could be something there. But a lot of times you find out, you know, there's a fence around everything. I don't know if you can see the mountains in the distance with a little bit of snow on them. We have one up there. We tried to check it out before, we couldn't quite find it, so we'll try that one more time. That's supposed to be pretty good. I mean, at least it used to be pretty good. I don't know how many people have hit it, so if we go up there, we'll take a little video of that and show you what we got. I don't know, with the way conditions are, if might not be able to go up there because of the snow. Most of the areas in the Menifee, Winchester, Hemet Valley area used to be farming communities. Matter of fact, when I was a kid, I used to run a combine cutting down wheat and oats and all that for one of the farmers. So, you know, you get some, generally farmhouses, they kind of keep it in the family and pass it down. So some of these things have been here a long time. This guy, he's kind of an interesting place here. Okay, here's the pictures I picked up for my wife. Here's one of them. And the others. Here's one here. And then this one. If you're a metal detectorist, you always have your eyes peeled on good spots. Even when I was coming down State Street here in Hemet to pick up these pictures off of Florida Avenue here, I saw a big empty field that was bordered with trees. I thought, oh, who knows what had been there. And then I saw a building, small building and business that closed down, but it was all open. It wasn't, fenced around it or anything. It looked like it might have been there from the 50s possibly. So anyway, you're always looking for something for future reference. Hemet gets hit pretty good because there's a club here I'm in at the Hemet Valley Prospectors, and a lot of them do metal detecting. So, since most of them live right in this area, they go to these places all the time. But, we've still found coins in areas here that other people have been to, so sometimes there's always something left. One thing that's to my advantage also is I used to do real estate appraisals, and so I can I've got a pretty good idea how old a house is. I mean, sometimes I remodel them, change them all around, but like I'm driving down this street here, I'm looking at this place, oh yeah, that was about 1930s, that's, so I'm not an expert at figuring that out, but I've been in so many, especially in the LA areas, where they're just like one-bedroom houses from the 1920s, and some of those are around here too, so that gives me a little advantage, I guess. We're in beautiful Homeland. There's the place we call the Mushroom House. This is Romaland. Over there is Mott's Romola Farms, and if you go in there, he has a lot of artifacts. If it's still open, I'm not sure. Has a lot of artifacts from the area. I think he used to have some old cars, different things there. Kind of interesting. Well, I went and talked with both gentlemen for a few minutes over here on Playground Bully. I'm terrible with names. I forgot the names already. But I guess, yeah, one of them knows my cousin over in Hemet, and I guess she told him about the videos, so they've been watching the videos and came over here. Hope they find something. I was telling them it's been hit pretty hard, and you just about, it's down to the coins are probably on a deeper level at this point, which the detectors won't pick up. So in other words, a lot of digging might be involved, and who knows where to dig.